Alright, let's take a look at the unit circle and let's see if we can figure out why it is the way it is. So in order to understand the unit circle, you really need to understand a couple of special triangles. So one of them would be the 45-45-90 triangle, and the other would be the 30-60-90 triangle. So we'll start with the 45-45-90 triangle first. So what's so special about this? Well, the way we get it is by taking a square, really, and by cutting that square in half. And what that creates is this 45-45-90 degree triangle. And since it's a square that was cut in half, all these sides would be the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a triangle here where this diagonal, the hypotenuse, is 1 unit. And the reason I'm doing that is because on the unit circle, all these lines up here happen to be 1 unit long. So in order for that to match up, I'm going to make sure that that diagonal is 1 unit. So how would I find the measure of these sides? Well, I'm going to just use the Pythagorean theorem, which says that leg squared plus leg squared is equal to our hypotenuse squared. So in this case, we'll end up with 2s squared is equal to 1. And if I divide both sides by 2, I get that s squared is equal to 1/2. And then I'll square root both sides and get that s is equal to 1 over the square root of 2. And then I want to rationalize my denominator, so I'll multiply the top and the bottom by the square root of 2. And that gives me that s is equal to the square root of 2 over 2. So I find out that this length here is the square root of 2 over 2, and this length here is also the square root of 2 over 2. So what would happen then if I was to put that 45-45-90 triangle onto our unit circle? Well, remember that this length right there would be our hypotenuse of our triangle. And I'm just going to create this right triangle here. A little sloppy, but that's okay. And so what we end up finding is that this vertical length is the square root of 2 over 2. And we find out that this horizontal length is also the square root of 2 over 2. So if I wanted to figure out the order pair for that dot, that location right there, the x value would be this length right here, which is the square root of 2 over 2. And the y value would be that vertical length, which was also the square root of 2 over 2.